First of all, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate our crowd that was here at the start and the atmosphere in the game. You know, it's a great collegiate atmosphere, and you know, first of all, I'll credit Penn State. You know, good team, and I'll credit James. Does a really good job there. He's done it for a long time. But we play bad football. You know, I can sit here and talk for a long time, but that's the deal. If you have three phases, you got to have offense, you have defense, you have special teams. And special teams is the only phase of the game today that we gave ourselves a chance to win. And so to say I'm disappointed in how we played would be an understatement. We played really poorly. And it was on a big stage, and very aware of that, and we played poorly. Starts with me. I'm the head coach. I'm responsible for it all, and then our staff. We didn't put our players in a position in some key times, especially in the first half, I thought. And then our best players just didn't play very well. You know, outside of, I would say, Josiah Trotter, just watching the game and then having a chance to watch it during halftime. I thought he played at a high level. Anthony Wilson is much improved. And then after that, I don't think any of our players played at the level that's going to be required to beat a team like that. And I think I'll start with offense. Is just very erratic offensively early, you know. And I'll say this. I should have said this. Wyatt Milam, who didn't play in the second half, cramps and just some really, really bad stuff as far as that goes. Now, he played extremely well, and I hope the pro personnel people watch this first half. He played extremely well, but he didn't get to play the second half, and that hurt us. But let's start with offense. First of all, let's talk about snaps. I mean, like, that's the fundamental, and we talk about the center quarterback exchange probably more than anybody, and that was a disaster. We had a turnover on the second series. We had a really good play that had a chance for a big play, and we snapped the ball at the wrong time. And then the very next play is we don't field a snap again, and it ends up being 2nd and 15 or something like that. And we just did not play with the discipline that's required. And what I mean by that is we only had one penalty in the game. And so people look at that and say, oh, well, we only had one penalty. That was a defensive offsides, right? But our alignments were not good like they should. On offense, we cut some routes short. We didn't do a very good job in some communication things. And again, we're a veteran group. And so my expectations for this group is extremely high, and we didn't come close to meeting those expectations today. And I'm in charge of it, but we have to execute as well. And then on defense is they hurt us in space, you know, and they've got good players, but we've got to do a better job of tackling in space, and especially in the third quarter. We weren't good enough tackling in space. And then we had several opportunities of 50-50 balls, and they made those plays, and we didn't. And we should have had them in a better spot at the end of the first half too. You know, that should never happen with 32 seconds to go. Now, I'll say this, okay, is if we're going to have replay, then we need to have replay in the first half. And so I want some explanations on that, because having the ability to watch the video at halftime, and we had that long break, the lightning delay, so I really watched every play of the first half, and I don't understand. So I'm going to have to get some explanation on that, because you have replay, so plays get checked. The touchdown at the end of the first half, the ball looked like it was moving, and it never went to replay. So why do we have it? I don't understand how we have it if it never goes. And I'll say this: this is not like, the officiating is really, really hard. Like, the crew of the game did a nice job. And that's in live time. That's fast. But we shouldn't have mistakes in replay, ever. And so I want to get some explanations on that. Now, we didn't play very well in the second half, so it ended up not being a factor in the game. But still, I don't want to forget about that. And then I thought we had some opportunities in the second half to get in the game. And We had 2 critical drops that would have been explosive plays. I think we had 4 opportunities for explosive plays, 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half. We didn't make plays on, and we made those plays last year, and we've made those plays all camp. And so we've got to figure out that. And then on defense, we couldn't. We had them in 3rd and long, maybe 2, maybe 3 times in the opening drive, and we didn't get them off. And the quarterback really hurt us with his scrambling. But bottom line is we played poorly. And I say that giving credit to Penn State. They won the game, but that's not what we're capable of. And we have higher expectations for ourselves. I told the players in the locker room the exact same thing. I told the staff the exact same thing. That was not good enough. And we had a great crowd here, and we didn't give them a chance to get in the game. So, questions, Greg?
So, Neal, I mean, you probably don't have an explanation as to why, but overhyped, just too excited to start?
I don't know. If I knew, I would have prevented it. And here's the worst thing about this, and I said this to Ren just a minute ago. When you see this coming, you can do something about it. But especially offensively, we got a veteran group. There should not have been this anxiety. There shouldn't have been this lack of execution. And there just was. We were anxious. We never got comfortable. And we didn't execute, And listen, they got 2 DNs that are not good players. They're great players, especially rushing the passer. Levin's a great pass rusher, all right? But with that being said, we didn't give ourselves a chance. They didn't necessarily beat us. We didn't give ourselves a chance. So, and again, it wasn't young players. It was people that have played a lot of football here. So we got to figure that out.
Coach, on that drive right before half and really throughout the game, what did you see as far as your defensive backs judging the ball, maybe making mistakes?
Yeah, not good enough. I thought it was offensive PI on the big play, and after watching on film, I think no question about it, it was offensive PI. Anytime you have 2 hands and you push it, Aubrey got into him first, but there was 2 hands extension, and that's the definition of offensive pass interference. But with that being said, Aubrey didn't play in his correct coverage lane. We were in a cover 2. That ball was complete on the seam, and we were in cover 2. That should never. That half field should never happen, and it was an unbalanced look. And they do a bunch of junk stuff, and that's fine. And we worked all that stuff. They were very similar to what they did at Kansas, and so we were prepared for all the stuff that we saw. And then the call that you as a coach you go I don't know. We wanted to be aggressive in the game, and we played man covers, and they called a go ball. On the last play. If we had to do it over again, we probably played some zone and made them throw it underneath. But I'm not sure that was a catch. And I'm really not sure after watching it. And the fact that it wasn't even taken to review, I don't understand. Somebody above me is going to have to – I got to get an explanation on that.
Is it serious for Wyatt?
Nah, he locked up. We tried everything, and he could not. And it's disappointing because there's nobody on our football team that's more prepared. He's the first one in the building from a player standpoint. Every day he does all the recovery stuff. He hydrates, he eats, he sleeps, and he went into just full body cramps. And never done that before. Now he's a sweater. It was really hot. Obviously, intense game. He had an opportunity to go and get 11 and 33. Thought he really, really did well. Like I said, I was able to watch the first half, and I thought he did exceedingly well. He got banged up. He came back and played in the second half. Probably wasn't as effective in the second half.
What do you think led to the miscues with the snaps at center? Obviously, it happened once, maybe.
It wasn't the center. Yeah, it wasn't the center. That's not the center.
What do you think led to it?
Hell, Mike, if I knew, I would have told you. We didn't have those issues in practice. I'm not, and that's a quality question. I'm not being offensive to you. I mean that, but extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating. We're a team. We motion and shift a bunch. And it hurt us because we had some really good things to get them, and they didn't adjust to us very well early on. But the 2 bad snaps, we were going to have real positive plays. And we want to be a group that motions and shifts, and that's kind of what we do. But when we had those snaps, we got away from it, because obviously we weren't able to handle it. And so we had to get away from our game plan a little bit there until we got back on track, which we did. But no, we hadn't had those issues. If we had those issues, we wouldn't run those style plays. Does that make sense? But just asking for the ball not at the right time.
How important was the quarterback sneak?
What'd you say?
Go ahead.
The quarterback sneak.
It was important. It was a 0-0. You know, the spy can go either way. You know, we got too high. You should be low on a quarterback sneak, and we were too high. You know, we didn't have in the ownership on my end is we didn't have a good enough short yardage plan going in. I think we ended up getting all but one, but they were ugly. You know, we got to get our pads down at running back and at quarterback. Bottom line, we got to get our pads down, and that's what I'm saying as far as a discipline issue. That's something like playing with pad leverage and understanding situational football. Like on a quarterback sneak, you should be really low, and you're really just taking it and getting pushed in a gap. And we've been ultra successful in those, and then we got beat at Baylor, and then we lost one today. Now, that spot, flip a coin. Flip a coin. You know, I could argue very, very strongly that we got that first down. And I could argue with it being on the replay. And I saw the exact same replay, and I could argue very, very strongly that was a first down. They marked it on the field short, and you're never going to get a quarterback sneak overturned on video replay. No, is that fair or right? I don't know. But I've never seen it. I should say I've never seen it. I'm not going to say that it won't happen, but I've never seen it. I was right there. I felt like second effort-wise, the ball got across, but we didn't execute that well enough either. We brought the official into play, and the official should never been in play on that particular 4th and inches.
You were in delay. How'd you handle that?
We just watched the game. We watched the game, try to get these guys calmed down. We had several of them cramp, which we haven't had that issue, but that was probably the hottest game we've played in a really long time. And just tried to settle down and come up with a plan for the second half. Didn't find out why it wasn't going to go till right as we were coming out. You know, we were kind of hopeful, and then all of a sudden, and Johnny got in there and competed. We'll see how. You know, I haven't watched the second half, so I don't know, but. You know, both teams did the same thing. You know, that didn't have anything to do with the outcome-wise. You know, I think if we could have got some stops on that initial drive there, then we could have got back in the game.
Talk about not giving yourselves a chance today. Big picture, what does it take to get that signature win against some of the best teams in America?
I don't know. Like, what do you count as a signature win? Like, we beat Texas here, beat Oklahoma here, beat Virginia Tech here. We beat Pitt here last year. Now, you can say, well, okay, what were the records in the year? But the bottom line, those were big games at the time, right? And so what I'll say is we didn't win today, you know. And was it a big game? Absolutely, it was a big game. You know, like everybody was here, Fox was here, it was a big game, and we didn't produce. We were not productive. Now, was it because it was a big game? I don't know. Was it because it was a first game? I don't know. If I had the answer on that, then we wouldn't be in this position here. But we didn't play good enough, and it would have mattered. You know, Penn State is really good. They'll have a chance to make the playoff, and I wish them the best. But it could have been a number of teams today, and we put not quality football on Milan Pushkar Field today, Mountaineer Field.
Neal, your personnel and packages and everything that started the second half looks like new people, new spots. Do you guys come do a makeover at halftime?
No. Some of that was by necessity, not necessarily because we were choosing to do that. So we had some injury stuff, yeah, and then – Aubrey got hurt there early in the third quarter, and so we kind of had to retool what we were doing. We had another secondary guy go down, and so yeah. And we've had a really healthy camp. We didn't have a single injury during camp. That nobody got hurt during camp that missed this game, and then we had several. We had several in this game.
And then the other long touchdown, it seemed like, I don't know, maybe just a miscommunication, but short catch and run that just pull away from guys. Was there miscommunication?
You talking about the one we got down or the touchdown?
Short slant, the first one for Wallace.
Yeah, so they ran a switch concept. So they caught us. Good scheme by them. They caught us, and we didn't do a very good job communicating. We were in a man look, and they just ran a corner post, and the post came open. Yep, and good concept by them. Not good communication by us. It was a catch and run on that first one.
Neal, you mentioned Burks being out of position a little bit. Obviously, kind of a new role for him.
Yeah, he was playing deep safety on that one, though, Mike.
Okay. Okay, but just in general with him, because Jordan did allude to a little bit that if things weren't going well, that maybe he would have to switch back or whatever's best for the team. Is that part
Well,
of
so what we were doing? No, we were just playing like we were doing it personnel based. So he's playing deep safety in 12, and then Rodney was playing some in our nickel package, and then it got a little fast for him defensively, and so we put Aiden Garnes there, and then moved moved Aubrey back. So it was going into the game, we were going to do it from a package standpoint. It's nothing that happened within the game.
What did you make of Gary Green's performance today?
Not good enough. And I love the kid, and he'll bounce back. He'll play way better tomorrow, or on Saturday, I should say, this coming week. But he didn't play good enough, and he knows it. And nobody's more disappointed than him. And I believe in the kid. I believe in what he's about. I believe in his preparation, but he just didn't perform well enough today. And he'll be back, and he'll play better. And next time we're on this type of stage, he'll play a lot better football.
What happened on those plays on the third downs, or multiple third downs that Drew Aller picked up by scrambling and running? So what do you, what
So-
do you try to implement to prevent that?
Yeah, so two things. First of all, on the edge, you lose contain, and that's a discipline issue. Second thing is we didn't have very good eyes, all right, and then we missed some tackles on him. He's a big guy, so I don't want to discount him, and that's not a surprise. You know, coming into the game, I think he scrambled for double-digit first downs last year, so it wasn't a surprise. He executed at a higher level than we did.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank y'all.